morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know when you guys actually watch these videos, these art videos, but whatever time of day it is, welcome to my studio. Once again, my name is Mr. Paul. I've been a visual artist and writer for probably the last 50 years, and I've been teaching probably for about 30, teaching art to a variety of different age groups. I'm glad you're here. I assume that maybe, hopefully, that some of you are into art, and today's lesson, pencil fade, is what I'm kind of calling it. Learning how to fade from one color to the other, or just from one color and have it become darker and lighter. Now catch this. This is something that you can do whether you're doing a sky or great lettering. You see it all the time, great lettering like graffiti, where the letter, it's a large letter and it's real dark and it kind of fades to another color or to a lighter of the same color. It's a simple trick to do. The only thing is that you have to practice. This is something that is not going to come too easy. I don't think it's really hard, but I don't think it'll come hard for you guys. But this is just going to be a small little practice of what I'm talking about. And instead of trying to fade or shift from one color to the other, in a drawing, I'm just going to make some strips here and show you my technique on how to do it with a pencil. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, create 2 bars, something like this. And the thing is that you can go from color to color, and then another color. You could add many colors. But if you stay with just, let's say, a pencil, and try to shade from like a dark shade of the pencil to a light shade, a lot of times that's because of a light source. There's a light source here, and so that strip's going to be light at light as it goes on, and there's no lines of it getting lighter and then a little darker and then a darker. The object of a good fade, just like an object of a good fade of a haircut, is that you don't see the change from the longer hair to the shorter hair. And what we're doing today is trying to create some kind of light source hitting something to make it lighter and then darker and then darker and darker, or vice versa. So what I like to do is I'm going to kind of do a fast one. I'm going to try to stay within this block right here, and I put down my darkest color, right? There's no really one way to do this. I know artists that do it in different ways, but if you're trying to, let's say your light source is down here and it's going up, that means that bar is going to be darker here, but it's going to be really light here, right? And the object of a good fade is that you can't tell the fade. Now see, right now, you can see the difference between this fade. Here's the dark, there's this kind of crumpy line here. But the object of it is to work softly, gentle, and you just kind of go over it enough to where you hide the lines of separation of the color. And you can also do this with your finger too. Blend it. So once again, my light source is here. So this end's going to be much, much lighter. It's going to be much lighter than this over here. And the only thing that I can suggest that you do if you want to learn how to do this, and I tell you, you can use it a lot. If you're trying to do something realistic, if you're trying to capture light and shadow, this is kind of a crucial thing to learn, I think, because you can do the same thing with color. Color could be, starting out with a red and then kind of going to kind of an orange to a pale orange. We'll get to a color in a little bit. Two artists that from the past I think are good examples of this. There were a few impressionistic painters. And what I mean by impressionistic painters, it was a type of artwork that was created, I want to say from like 1870 to about 1910, something like that. And it was real radical at the time. You wouldn't think something like this would be radical at the time, but boy, it was really, really radical. So I've got dark here and I've got it light here, and I'm going to try to blend them in such a way, right? You blend them, you try to go down. It's okay when you're starting on it to leave these moments where you can actually see the lines where they get light, from dark to lighter and vice versa. Because you can go back and kind of rework this, okay? So I've got a pretty constant color here. And so what I do is I start at the dark end again and add more. And and another thing that you can do, and this is just a little tip, and that is you don't make the lines go down to a line, right? Don't do this. You go in and you've got this line here. What you try to do is when you draw and when you start shading, you kind of like make it jagged a little bit, right? It's not like it all stops in one shade. You just keep working it and working it until you get something closer to what I'm trying to illustrate here. To where you can't see where the darkness ends and the lightness starts. And again, this takes a little bit of time to do. And with a pencil, what you can do is you can use your finger. Now, here you got a bunch of dark pencil lead on it. If it's dark, always go down. Never start here where it's light if it's real dark and go up. Another thing that I think is really important that can help you is when you're trying to shade or fade, you really need to go just in one direction. Don't go this way or don't go this way. Try to go with the flow to where you can get like a real even. But anyway, there was the French Impressionists. There's two that sticks out in my mind. They were painters, but they also used colored pencil and they also used pastels. And it's really kind of interesting. Again, they all used those different mediums, right? But I really, really, one of the guys is Degas. He used a lot of pencil and he used a lot of oil pastels. It's a different beast, so to speak. So what you do is you can't really rush this stuff, right? You just really have to just kind of stay with it until you get a real fade. And at the same time, you can use your eraser. If you think this is too light down here, you can erase some of this stuff. Of course, I'm not doing a very good job here. I'm going to cut this off. There we go. That was something on my eraser that caused that problem. But I think that you get the idea that go in one direction, press harder where it's dark, and as you go down, you lift your pencil just a little bit, just a little bit. Don't put too much pressure on it, okay? Same thing with a color. It's a matter of blending. It's a matter of, in a lot of ways, what I call it leaving spaces within the colors that you're doing. And let me see how these little spaces, I've left these spaces. You can go in and you can clear those up. You can see how light I've gotten it? So what I do there is I take my orange, right? And I'm doing the same thing. Make it lighter. Make it lighter. There we go. But you get the point. This is a technique that can come in really, you know, in a lot of things, in commercial art or in what is called fine art, like painting. It's just a technique that you can add to whatever you're doing already, okay? So anyway, this is just a little trick of the trade. It's kind of like what I was talking about the other day about these are little tricks that you can pick up through your education of being an artist and learning new things about how to make your art. You can actually, you know, see that? It's really simple, but you have to, it's putting the dark down hard and putting the lighter ones just a little less hard, a little less hard, a little less hard, and you can really get to this, right? I know that you can do this. And I think that you can add this to whatever kind of art that you're doing. You can do it with, artists do it with paint, oil paint, acrylic paint. It's the same process over and over and over again. Anyway, I hope that you kind of learned something here. Put this kind of thing in practice. And until next time, keep making some art out there. Take it easy. Peace.